Welcome to our first Freshwaves episode of 2021. I'm your host, Bren Masson, and joining me in the studio today, well, via Bluetooth, over the telephone lines, will be the one and only Jason Rumball. Hello, Jay. How you doing?
Hello, Bren. Happy New Year. It's great to hear your voice and do our first recording year of 2021.
I'm really excited that we're able to do this, Jay, because as you know, it's often really tricky to get recordings done these days during the pandemic. And now with the Rodecaster Pro, I'm making little videos and making audio recordings in my studio at home.
Well, that is great. It's so great to have that technology that we can keep doing these shows. And I know we. Before the pandemic, we would get together and do shows in person, but it's great that we could still keep Freshwaves going, doing it this way.
Well, it's really nice to be able to speak to you and to bring some joy and hope to our listeners during this time of a pandemic. And I want to say that today our show is going to be mostly about you, which is always something I'm sure you love to talk about anyway, judging by your Facebook pages, and I mean that only in a good way, Jay.
Yeah, there's lots going on, but yeah, if you follow me on Facebook and see my posts there, you pretty much know what's going on, and I'm trying to keep it positive. I know people are stressed out. Like I made a post today. I know people are stressed out, like what we saw down in the USA the other day, and everything that we're dealing with in the world right now. And, I just want to say off the top that I think things are going to work out.
Well, we all hope that things work out, don't we?
We do, exactly. You just got to be positive and keep the faith.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a new year. There's all kinds of new hope, new prospects, new possibilities for 2021. And for those listeners who don't know your history, can you tell us a little bit about who Jason Rumball is?
We do this show together. I'm the producer of your show, Freshwaves. I also host my own dance music show here on Whistle FM called The Block Party on Saturday nights. I get you up dancing on a Saturday night. And right now, I'm currently battling kidney disease. I'm on dialysis for a few days a week for 4 hours per treatment. My sister, 20 years ago, takes me back 20 years ago, she donated a kidney to me. I was on dialysis at that time for about a year and 9 months. And then my sister surprised me on my birthday with the greatest news ever that she's going to donate a kidney. And it lasted a good 19 and a half years. About 9 years more than what doctors have predicted, given I've had quite the medical history going back to when I was born with spinal bifida and all that, and later on in life leading to kidney disease. I was only born with the one kidney, so I, thanks to my sister, I was able to live a good 19 and a half years, able to get involved with volunteering and sharing my organ donation story with others, and getting involved with the York Region Gift of Life Association, and then joining Whistle Radio, hosting my own show, and it was a great 19 and a half years. I really took advantage of having that freedom, having good health and that, and now I'm back on dialysis, but still managing as well as I can, despite being on dialysis as well as dealing with this pandemic at the same time, and just trying to keep moving forward and hopeful that, I'm going to get off dialysis very soon, and, this pandemic, things will get better, and we'll be able to get back to doing the things that we enjoy. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, one day getting a kidney, getting back to, getting up there doing some public speaking, and, who knows what'll happen. But, I got some things I'd like to do, in the future.
Well, that's a really interesting story, Jay. And for those of us who've heard it before, it's an inspiring story. It's a little bit frustrating that in this country and every country around the world, there are thousands of people suffering from kidney disease waiting for kidneys. And currently, what's the waiting list like? Has anyone let you know like where you are on the waiting list, Jay?
That's a good question, because I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, Sarah, and like I was telling her that, they haven't really given me any updates on how long it's going to be. From what I understand, it's 2 to 5 years, but I'd like to know, right now, like, what's my situation? How far am I up on the waiting list and things like that. And I just wish there was some better communication to me, like maybe if it's a monthly update or how often they can update me on how things are going. And like, I know they want to ensure that I have, pretty good health despite my kidney issues. And I spoke with the heart specialist yesterday. He was going over my history of, my kidney disease and being on dialysis. And he wants me to do a stress test to make sure my heart is strong enough to go through a kidney transplant. Like you said, when you were, in your 20s, 20 years ago, going through dialysis and kidney transplant, your heart was a lot stronger. But also, the kidney disease, the longer you're battling kidney disease and dialysis, it can have an effect on your heart. So they want to make sure that my heart, my lungs, that there's no other health issues, that I can go ahead with a kidney transplant. But as far as I know, everything seems to be fine. And, I'm feeling pretty good besides my having to need dialysis.
So what's dialysis looking like during this pandemic? I mean, I know that they announced today, and every time I say that, it dates the show, except that saying that we're over 4,000 cases now it just blows my mind. So there are over 4,000 new cases today in Ontario. So what does that do to dialysis for you? That means that you're in a medical facility every week, exposing yourself to people who are potentially sick.
Right, exactly. So, as soon as I get there, you have to, before you even go in the building, they have signs everywhere saying make sure you have a mask, and because it's not just the dialysis clinic there's other clinics going on, and so you're being exposed to many people, not just the dialysis clinic. So as soon as you get off the elevator on the second floor at dialysis, you have to sanitize your hands, and I wear a mask before I leave the house here to get into the taxi. So I take off the mask that I'm using and wear one of their masks, and sanitize my hands. And they ask me, how are you feeling? Any changes from the last dialysis? Because I guess things can happen because you're going there 3 times a week, so you can get symptoms very quickly. So they want to make sure that there's no changes from your last dialysis, that there's no issues that could be related to COVID or maybe some other issue that the doctor needs to know about. So they take your temperature, and one of the things that dialysis patients have to do is check their weight to make sure to see how much extra fluid is on your body. The dialysis machine will take off the extra fluid, because when your kidneys aren't working, you're not able to eliminate fluids as easily as when you are with a working kidney. So that's one of the things they do. So before you even take your seat at the chair for dialysis, they want to make sure that there's no symptoms. And I haven't come across somebody that's had symptoms. I mean, I don't know if they would inform the other patients that someone else is tested positive for COVID or might have possible symptoms. I don't know what they would do in that case. I know they have isolation rooms there. So whether they put them in an isolation room or what they do, I'm not too sure. But as far as I know, everything's been okay at the unit. Everybody's been safe and following orders and that sort of thing. So I think that's a good thing. They do a really good job to make sure you're safe, and if there's any issues, I'm sure they would deal with it right away.
It seems like all of us who wonder if we've been in contact with somebody who has or might have COVID. And when you have the medical clinic downstairs, like the walk-in clinic downstairs from your dialysis, it just seems like there'd be a higher potential of you coming across someone who's not feeling well and has gone to the clinic.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's where, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, and any surfaces like an elevator button or whatever, I make sure I don't touch it with my hand, or if I do touch it with my hand, to sanitize my hands right away. And but yeah, no, it seems to be an increased risk there, and I think they're taking all the precautions. If they have a sign saying, please don't use this washroom, here, this is for the dialysis patients, is not for anybody to, walk in and use the washroom. So they're trying to, and also with visitors, before they would allow visitors to come with the dialysis patients. But they do make exceptions for people that maybe English isn't their first language and they need to communicate with the doctor. But I've seen sometimes where if the doctor or nurse needs to communicate, they would talk to the family member over the phone. They could do that. But sometimes they would allow some people in that, aren't able to communicate or don't speak English.
Well, you were saying earlier that you go several times a week to dialysis. It's actually every second day, isn't it?
Yeah. So right now I go, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So, so I get a couple of days off during the week, but it's 3 out of the 7 days I'm at dialysis there for about 4 hours. So
if you were, you are making some New Year's resolutions this year, I assume. What are some of your New Year's resolutions?
A kidney would be nice. As much as I, have fun, joking with the nurses and the patients at dialysis, I would love to be able to get free of that and be able to, have a kidney so I can, do more things. Like I know now that we're in a lockdown, it's very hard to, I love to travel and things like that. But I know, with the pandemic right now, things aren't, looking too good with that. But, just thinking of things that I can do. Like say if I had a kidney right now, like what would I do with myself? And, maybe, I'd love to, I thought about maybe writing a book or, maybe creating some social media videos to kind of, inspire people. Like I've done some talks to share my stories. So maybe I could do like a YouTube video or something like that to kind of inspire people, maybe a short video every day or maybe a longer video once a week or something like that, just to, kind of share more of my positivity with the world.
So what kind of things would you say on your video? Just like, get up, get out there, have a smile on your face. Like, give us some idea of what you would be saying.
I'd just say, just to have faith and just to know that, there's always somebody that you're not alone in whatever you're facing. There's always somebody there to talk with you and just to, enjoy each day, just make the most of each day. And sure, you might have some bad days, but, hang in there, have patience and know that, the next day will be better. The more positivity you put out there, it's going to come back to you. And just to, think of one nice thing you could do for somebody, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be just the small things, count.
All right. Well, give us an idea of some of the nice things that people have done for you last year.
Last year, I'd say, giving me, rides somewhere. That's always an unexpected thing, and helping me fix something. Or the other day, my neighbor shoveled our driveway, and I was nice enough to to have them do that, and just have good neighbors to do these deeds for you.
And Ivan Harris, who gives you rides to the library to do recordings and things like that. Last year, before the pandemic hit, that kind of thing. Ivan Harris is just the greatest guy.
He is. Yeah, that guy is. He's done so much for Freshwaves, and just to be able to have a guy like Ivan Harris to give you a ride. And
he does so much for the community at large, not just for the radio show, but for the community at large. He helps some other people with their recordings to get information about the town out to people on Facebook. He He's a member of the Lions Club, so he does a lot of good things around the community. Just a general good guy. And I do know that one of your friends did some grocery shopping for you last year too, which is always helpful during a pandemic. I think your sister was out of town or something like that. So people are kind of pitching in, aren't they?
Oh, definitely, yeah, because they realize that my mobility is limited. I mean, I just got a new scooter now, but so I try to, like on a cold day like today, I probably won't be going out, but I try to be as independent as I can. But I realize that I can ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. I think that's a key thing. I would do a video on that. Whenever you need help, just ask, and people will be glad to help you, whether it's groceries or whatever you need. All you have to do is ask, and if they're a good friend, they're going to help you for sure.
I think a lot of people get the impression that when you talk about doing a good deed, it has to be some huge monumental task that you perform, when in fact a good deed can be as simple as opening the door for someone who can't open the door for themselves. Right.
Exactly, yeah. Or, a smile. I mean, I know it's hard with having a mask on to send a smile that way, but there's other ways. Yeah, you can open up a door for somebody, or if you see somebody that could use some help in some way, that you can help them out. Things like that.
Yeah, just general good deeds.
Right.
Okay,
yeah,
so what's your biggest wish for 2021? Is it finding that kidney?
That would be great. But I think I'm seeing what I think is giving me some stress and some worry. Like I'm trying to be as positive as I can, but I'm seeing just being on social media, seeing some division, some people fighting over just the silliest things, and I just wish that we could all come together for a common bond. I think things would be so much better if we all work together and not have so much division. And I respect people's opinions and things like that, but if we can come together as one, I think it would be great for humanity.
I think I hear you saying that kindness is a big thing.
It is, yeah. Just to be kind and think before you speak. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people do. We're at home, being on social media and things like that, and we might say things that we later on regret. So I think there's a way to respond to somebody's post with kindness. Just to not be mean or whatever. Like I've heard of people unfriending someone because they didn't like their post or their opinion. But if you respond with kindness and listen, I think people need to listen more. I think we could learn a lot from each other when we listen. I think people are so set in their ways and their opinions that if we take a step back and just listen to what people are saying, I think we can learn a lot from each other.
It's funny that you say that. Yesterday, I saw a post on a friend's page, and she had asked the question, if the vaccination became available, would you take the vaccination? And one of the responses was, I would love to go on vacation right now and lie in the sun on a beach somewhere. And I started laughing because it was obvious that the person didn't read the post carefully, and they thought that they had said, would you go on a vacation? Not, would you get the vaccination? It's like, oops.
Yeah. People need to read the post very carefully. You can tell when somebody isn't reading it when they respond with something that is totally not what you were asking or putting out there.
Yeah. So, yeah. Jason, let's talk about that for a minute. The vaccines are now here in Canada, although they say that we've got 1 week left before we run out.
Right.
Are you given at dialysis, are you given any indication of where you guys stand, you guys meaning people who are on dialysis, where they stand in the pecking order of who gets the vaccine? Have you been told that you may be getting it soon, or are you, waiting with the pack sort of thing?
That's the thing. We haven't been given any information right now. I mean, I haven't actually asked. Like I should probably ask to see, what the situation is. But I haven't heard from the doctor or nurses about, when the vaccinations are going to be available for us at dialysis. But, I'm hoping, that would be soon. I mean, because we're in the vulnerable group. So I think that's something that, that's another communication thing that they should probably give us an update or, give us some information. I think that's one of the things that, people are kind of worried about this vaccine is what it could do. And so I think having some information for, patients and anybody that wants to take the vaccine to read up on to know what's in the vaccine and how it can help you and that sort of thing. So I think more information should be available right now.
Well, maybe next time you're at dialysis, ask if dialysis patients are considered to be a vulnerable population and when you can expect to get the vaccine.
Yeah, so that's a good question, yeah. No, I'll have to ask because, it'd be nice to know that, it's going to be coming in a month or, couple months or whenever it'll be. Because I know there's been a lot of criticism for the Ontario government about the slow rollout of things, but I think things are going to pick up and more people will get vaccinated. So I think that's good news.
Yeah, I think it's a mammoth undertaking. Just the logistics of handing out all of these vaccines is a monumental task, and my heart goes out to all the people that are involved in that undertaking because they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they roll it out too quickly and make mistakes, they'll get criticized. If they roll it out too slowly, take their time and don't make mistakes, they'll still get criticized. So they're kind of in a damned if they do, damned if they don't position. And I think most politicians are in that place right now. It's funny how the big networks are always talking about what the NDP say. Well, of course, the NDP can say whatever they want and they can criticize all they like because they're not in a position of making things happen. They're just in a position of sitting back and criticizing everything that's going on. And that's such an easy place to be right now. I would just hate to be Doug Ford. It's a horrible position to be in just because there's just so much involved and it's so stressful. And really, they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, so to speak. All right, Jay, we're coming to the end of my first gab session here with you. And we're going to come back after the break for some more riveting conversation. Can't wait.
I can't wait either.
We are listening to Fresh Waves, and this morning I'm talking with our technical producer, Jason Rumball, about COVID-19, about the year ahead, what he expects. He's a kidney transplant survivor and is now back on the waiting list for a new kidney. We'll be right back. You're listening to Fresh Waves. We're back on Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. Today we're speaking with Jason Rumball. He is the technical producer of Fresh Waves. He's also a kidney recipient, and he is back on the list waiting for a new kidney. And now that we're starting the new year, and I know you have your Facebook page, Jason wants a kidney, Jason needs a kidney.
Jason Rumball needs a kidney.
What's it called again?
Jason Rumball needs a kidney.
That's a perfect name for the page and says exactly what you want it to say. So anything we can do here at Fresh Waves or Whistle FM, we would love to do to help a member of our community who's in need. So I'll start the first show of the year with a plug for Jason Needs a Kidney. And Jason, tell us the different ways in which a person can receive a kidney.
Well, there's different ways a person can receive a kidney. Like right now, we're talking in the first half about being on the wait list, and from what I understand, it's 2 to 2.5 to or 2 to 5 years. But there's also, so that's from a deceased donor, from somebody that's passed away. And then there's another option called living donation, and that's what my sister did for me 20 years ago. Going back, I had no idea she was going to be doing this for me, and for a living donation, as my sister was saying, it wasn't an easy decision for her. I know she was worried about it, not working out, and she had a young daughter at the time. So I understand that, living donation, it does, take, I guess, asking some questions, what about the transplant and the recovery time afterwards and stuff like that. But a living donation, that would take me off dialysis a lot sooner than having to wait for one. That's, one of the issues with, organ donation right now is that there's this waiting list. Just thinking back, 20 years ago to now, I think there's more people with kidney issues and needing dialysis now than there was 20 years ago. We didn't have the clinic that they have now. Back then, we just had to go to the hospital, and but I think as time has gone on, they've realized that more people are getting kidney issues and needing dialysis. So I really hope that they improve the system that will allow for less waiting and more people getting their kidney transplant. But then there's some that like my sister and like some others that we've interviewed on Freshwaves that have donated their kidney. And we also have a mutual friend, Megan, that also donated part of her liver. So you can actually be an organ donor twice in your life by donating your kidney and part of your liver, which is quite amazing. So if we can get more people to consider living donation or going to beadonor.ca to sign their organ donor card, that would be great too.
Well, thanks for that. That's really interesting to know. And I do know a person in Stouffville who has been a live donor, and she saved another woman's life. So yeah, it's a wonderful thing to consider, and I think there's a lot of people who don't know that that's an option.
I don't think they know, and I think that's the key thing is to educate them. Like on my page on Facebook and also just on my general Facebook page, I keep people updated on how I'm feeling. That's what they advise anybody that's waiting for a kidney, just to keep people updated on your health and where you're at now, and how things might be going with the search and that, and just to let them know that they have the opportunity to save somebody's life. And but sure, I understand it's not an easy decision to make, but just to think of the benefits that you would be to giving to somebody to free them from dialysis. There's so much that I'd love to do with my life rather than be on a machine for 4 hours 3 times a week. So just have dreams of what would freedom be like for me again.
Mm-hmm. Because you are kind of tied to the whole dialysis system where you live. I know that we had Mary Jo on the show back in April of 2019, and she was saying that she did go on a vacation once, but that it was extremely tricky and very expensive because you had to, first of all, contact the dialysis clinic where you were traveling to, ask if there was space for you to get in to have a treatment while you were on that vacation, and then you had to pay for it out of pocket, and it was really expensive.
Oh yeah, when I was on dialysis 20 years ago, I went down to visit my cousin in Florida, and I remember, you had to plan well in advance. We had help from the social work and the dialysis team to kind of coordinate things. But yeah, there's you had to pay out of pocket for expenses, and I didn't actually see a doctor while I was down there. That's what they usually do here. Once a week, you see a doctor. They come around and do the rounds, but they had a doctor monitoring my chart there, and I had to pay for the doctor's fees. And I didn't realize. I thought, I haven't seen a doctor, but they still charge for the doctor's fees, so I had to pay those as well. But it did work out. But yeah, it took some planning well in advance. But it was nice to be able to go down to Florida and see my family down there, and love to do that now, but obviously with the pandemic, it's hard. And even going to my cottage, I'm on this different schedule that it's hard for me to get up to my cottage. So I try to get up there when I can, and it's a matter of coordinating times that I can go to my dialysis and then pack up or whatever I need to do and head up to the cottage with my family. But a lot of weekends it's hard to do that.
Especially now that you've switched to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That kind of takes a chunk out of the weekend, doesn't it?
Right. I mean, if I can go up on a Sunday or Monday, that's good. And my, sister and brother-in-law that I go up with, they work from home, and sometimes, they're able to, work from the cottage when they can. So I'm sure there's a way we could do it, but yeah, it's going to take some planning with my family and dialysis to make that happen.
Well, I guess now that the pandemic is ramping up in the second wave, I have a feeling that there's going to be some more restrictions coming in, and traveling to the cottage may be one of those things that's going to be on the roster to have stopped. So, maybe you're just going to have to sit down and write that book, Jay. This is the perfect time. You can't go anywhere. You can't really do anything during a pandemic. So write your book. What do you think you're going to write a book about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I've been through so much in my life, and, my kidney issues and, being born with spina bifida and having, lost a couple of parents, and maybe I'm going to write about all of it, just about all my adventures in my life. And, that's where, because I've, know some friends that have wrote books and things like that. So I'm sure I could get some advice from them. So I'm just trying to figure out, what's the title going to be, what should I write about? And, but maybe I've actually kind of given some ideas right there.
Maybe you're going to do an autobiography.
An autobiography. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I heard that somebody did a documentary about you, a film.
That's right. Yeah, there's a film coming out very soon. It's because of COVID and that's actually kind of caused delays. One of the producers, he's over in Italy. He's been dealing with COVID. He got COVID himself, and he's right in the hotspot of Italy there. So, he's been dealing with things, but things seem to be, getting back on track, and we're hoping to release this film, sometime this month. The main focus will be about me and my journey through getting a kidney from my sister and being on dialysis. But what we're hoping to do with this film, it's going to be called 8, meaning one organ donor can save 8 lives. And what we're really hoping to do with this film is to kind of create change when it comes to organ donation, really put pressure on the government to decrease the waiting list, to get more people the organs that they need, whether it's a kidney or heart or liver. I mean, there's people that, like I met through York Region Gift of Life Association that have gotten, different organs and that. And I just, my wish, like, I would love to, put this documentary out and find an organ donor through that for myself. That would be great. But if I can actually inspire others to be organ donors and get others the help that they need, I think that would be great too.
Mm-hmm. Increase awareness is always the best thing, right? As long as people know, then they can make an educated decision and get the ball rolling. I mean, doctors can only do so much, right? There's only so many organs that they have available anyway, because it's not like if someone passes away, then all of a sudden their organs can be used. Often the case is that that's not the case, that the organ's not viable, or for some reason or another, they can't use that, or they don't have a match for someone. So there's all kinds of things around whether or not that organ can be used in transplant. So it's a complicated situation. There's more to it than meets the eye initially. Exactly.
But, if more people, go to beadonor.ca or, just to talk to the families about organ donation. I know it's a hard subject to talk about, after you die, what your wishes are going to be. But I think it's important for families to, now that, we're locked down, we're home with our families more often to, at the kitchen table, have these conversations about, organ donation and planning for the future. I think that would really, help out a lot. And it's more about education, like the benefits of, donating your organs after you die, or living donation. What's that all about too? So that this film is going to, shed light on my situation, but for people to realize that there's more Jason Rumballs out there that are in the same situation, that they need the help. And, if I can inspire one person to make that change, I would be very happy to see that for sure.
Okay, well, according to the Trillium Gift of Life organization, there are currently 1,600 people across Ontario waiting to receive a life-saving organ transplant. Every 3 days, someone dies while waiting. That's a really sad statistic.
That is. That's what really, bothers me. And, some of the dialysis patients that, I've, got to know, like some of them have passed away. And, it's pretty sad that, that this happens, that, they, maybe there's other issues that might have caused their death. I'm not too sure. But yeah, no, it's sad that, people die waiting and they don't, they shouldn't have to wait, that long. They need that organ now. Like I've been on dialysis for a little while now, and I'm still doing well. Like I can, wait a little bit, thanks to the dialysis machine. But it would be nice if, after this interview that I got a call saying, come on down to St. Mike's for your transplant. That would be awesome. But I realize that's not the situation now. But if more people, consider organ donation, then we don't have to lose people like this.
Yeah. I mean, with the pandemic going on, there seems to be a lot of people talking about death right now. And I know that some situations because of COVID-19 are really brutal. But in the same sense, I don't think there's any harm in bringing organ donation up to the forefront. I know that if you have COVID-19 and pass away from COVID-19, your organs are not viable and they can't be donated. But in the same sense, I just think that there's so many wonderful stories about people who have received organs and have gone on to do amazing things with their life. They're great volunteers, philanthropists. They have a whole new outlook on life. They inspire other people. They're just great human beings. And to have them on this earth a little longer because of organ donation is a wonderful thing. Don't you think?
It sure is. Yeah, no, I've heard some amazing stories about what people have done, after, getting a transplant and, being able to, get married, have a family. And, that's two of the things I'd like to do as well. And, be able to travel to a place I've never been to before, go back to school or, the possibilities are endless. Like that's what I'm thinking for myself. Like I'm thinking about some things, I talked about writing a book, but, maybe there's something I haven't thought of right now that, I might think of one day. It's like, yeah, I want to do that. And now that I have my kidney, I can do that. I'm free to be able to do that. The sky's the limit. Anything is possible.
How did it feel when you woke up from the surgery with your new kidney?
I felt better right away. Like I forgot what it felt like to feel that good. Like I felt like I could run a marathon and had so much energy, and just to think that a few hours before that I was, very sick and, needing a machine to stay alive. And now that, I've gone through this transplant and, the blood tests have shown that, the kidney started working right away. That felt amazing, to know that and know that I wouldn't need the dialysis machine anymore. I just felt like I could get out of the hospital and live on with my life. But I had to stay there for 7 days, but still, I just felt better right away.
It must have been an amazing feeling.
It was, yeah. Like you never would think that, a simple operation like something like that would make you feel better instantly. Like I've heard of stories where, for some people it might take a little while for the kidney to start working. Like you might need dialysis at first, but then eventually it works fine. But my kidney worked right away. My blood test results were even better than my sister's. That's one of the jokes that we're saying, that my kidney was working better than my sister's at the time.
It's probably not something she wanted to hear.
But hers was still normal, but mine was even better than hers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do people go to become organ donors?
Well, you can go in Ontario. You can go to beadonor.ca. And, if you're listening in another part of Canada or USA or wherever, you can find your local organ donor website. And I'm sure, I would say it's probably a similar situation where you can register online. In Ontario, you take out your health card and you put in your health card information, and it'll ask you on beadonor.ca what organs you'd like to donate, and whether you want to donate your body to science. You can do that as well. It only takes a couple minutes, and then you're registered. Or you can also, when you go to get your health card renewed, or I think your driver's license as well, you can do that. But while you're at home during lockdown, sitting in your pajamas, just go to beadonor.ca and take 2 minutes to sign up there, and just like that, you're an organ donor.
Does it cost you any money to sign up?
No money at all. No, it's free. You just use your health card and you're good to go.
All right, that sounds easy enough, and it takes 2 minutes, you said.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Well, I think everybody should be an organ donor, or sign up and make their wishes known to their family. That's that kitchen table conversation that you were talking about. Toby Boulay kind of started that after the Logan Boulay initiative, when Logan lost his life in the Humboldt crash and his organs were donated, because he had made it known to his parents before the accident that if anything should ever happen to him, he wanted his organs to be donated, and his parents followed through with his wishes. And that kitchen table conversation is very important, isn't it?
It sure is. It's very sad that bus crash had to happen. It was a real tragedy for Canada, and but to know that Logan wanted to have his organs donated, and that he was able to save all those lives, and that's what having these kitchen table conversations, I think it's very important, and to make sure that your family follows through with your wishes.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, go to beadonor.ca and sign up to be an organ donor. And if you're interested, or if you're able, go and check out live organ donors. People only really need one kidney. If you have two and you feel like you're in a position to donate to somebody who could really use a kidney, then it's an interesting thing to go and explore. Jason, we have very little time left. The show always ends very quickly, I find. And we've got some good shows coming up for 2021. And I think we should take this opportunity to maybe tell the listeners that they can look forward to some really cool shows. We are going to do organ donation awareness for the month of April. And we will feature and bring to the listeners all kinds of stories, heartwarming, uplifting stories about people who have received organs through organ donation and are living really, really happy, wonderful lives. And that'll be the month of April. For the rest of January and February, we have Yolanda Pettifer coming on to talk about decorating in the winter and in the cold months, and putting away your Christmas decorations in a manner that will allow you to decorate efficiently next year when you open the boxes. We're going to be having some shows about nature, how to walk purposefully in nature and respectfully. And we'll be having a number of different guests on to talk about going out into the forest and reaping the benefits of walking in the forest, even during the pandemic, and how to social distance while you're walking in the forest, and the importance of keeping your dog on a leash during these pandemic times. I must say that last week I was out walking in the forest with my 15-and-a-half-year-old dog, and we were doing a nice slow pace, and a person had their dog off the leash who ran towards my dog, ignored the owner's commands to stop and come and all the rest of that, and came right up to my dog and started stressing out and annoying my dog. And what ended up happening is the owner then had to come too close to me to get his dog back. So it's really important that people know right now, especially right now during this social distancing time, please keep your dogs on a leash. It's really important to walk your dog on a leash. Anyway, and we will talk about healthy things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy and as healthy as we possibly can and boost our immune systems. There's all kinds of fun things coming your way on Fresh Waves for 2021.
I'm looking forward to it, Bren. I think it's going to be a great year, and we're going to have, so many great things to talk about that I'm sure the listeners are really going to enjoy. And yes, we got Organ Donation Awareness Month coming up in April, and so many great shows for people to tune into.
Yep, and we'll do some expressive arts therapy as well, where we learn how to express ourselves through writing and singing and music and doing things that will bring us joy. And of course, a joyful person has a much stronger immune system. And so there's all kinds of fun things that we have to talk about. And I'm really looking forward to 2021 on Fresh Waves and Twigs and Tea. Of course, Twigs and Tea is the nature arm of Fresh Waves, and we'll be bringing a lot of great tips for nature walks, natural, holistic nutrition, foods, and lifestyle. So Fresh Waves and Twigs and Tea. Sounds like a good marriage to me.
It does. I like that. Yeah, that's very exciting. I really like that.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us today, Jay. I know that now that the studio is closed, you don't have as much to do hands-on wise with the production as you used to, but you're still the technical producer of Fresh Waves. We still appreciate every minute that you donate to the show and to Whistle FM, which is Stouffville's community radio station. So thanks for being a part of the show today. Thanks for your ongoing help with everything. And I wish you the best of health and the best of luck with Jason finding a kidney.
Oh, thank you so much. And I wish you the best year ever. I really am excited to be on this Fresh Waves journey with you, and I'm really looking forward to a great year of shows, and people out there listening, please share this out. Please help us grow.
All right. Well, thanks again, Jay. This has been Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. We're on Whistle FM Wednesday mornings right after the 10 o'clock news. And we're on the website, freshwaves.ca. Anytime you like, you can listen to the podcasts of the shows. We love to hear your stories, your suggestions, and your inspirations. So drop us a line at bren@freshwaves.ca. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you again next Wednesday on Fresh Waves.